From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang and here are the news. Malacañang on Wednesday said the commemoration of Bonifacio Day will remain on Saturday, November 30th. November 30, 2024 is a regular holiday to mark the celebration of Bonifacio Day based on Proclamation 368 issued by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in October. Last year, Bonifacio Day was observed on November 27th, the nearest Monday, instead of the original date, November 30th, which was a Thursday. Pursuant to Republic Act 9492 and Proclamation 90, issued in November 2022, the President declared November 27, 2023 as non-working holiday, while November 30 of the same year was declared a working day. The holiday declaration was moved last year to allow the public to have a longer weekend that will help encourage domestic travel and increase tourism expenditures in the country. Bonifacio Day is a national holiday in the Philippines commemorating Andres Bonifacio, one of the country's national heroes.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news stories, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has ordered the creation of an interagency committee on international humanitarian law, or IAC-IHL. The international humanitarian law is a set of legal standards and rules on the protection of individuals that are not directly or not actively participating in war or armed conflicts. Executive Order Number 77, signed on November 22nd by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on behalf of the President, is in accordance with the government's policies under the Constitution related to the importance of the dignity of each individual associated with the respect for human rights. The interagency body will be composed of the Secretaries of the Department of National Defense, or DND, and Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, as co-chairperson. Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, Department of Justice, or DOJ, Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, Department of Health, or DOH, Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, Philippine National Police, or PNP, Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, or NCIP, Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, or OPAPRU, and the Presidential Human Rights Committee Secretariat will serve as members. Members will support authorities focused on the implementation and propagation of IHL awareness to the public. The IAC-IHL will also formulate and implement year-round programs and activities for the promotion of IHL, including the commemoration of IHL Day every 12th of August and other relevant treaties, international agreements, and other instruments to which the Philippines is a party. The committee shall also coordinate and collaborate with concerned government agencies as well as civil society groups, the academe, and other stakeholders in promoting and complying with IHL.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday expressed support for Palestine's collective aspiration for enduring peace and prosperity as he joined the international community in observing the Solidarity Day with the Palestinians. In his message for the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, the President said the Philippines is gravely concerned with the catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza and the increasing tensions in the Middle East. The chief executive condemned all attacks against civilians and civilian structures, which have resulted in an alarming number of casualties, particularly women and children, and restricted access to food, water, medicine, and other basic needs. President Marcos said conflict can only be resolved through diplomatic engagement, dialogue, and comprehensive negotiations rooted in international law. The Philippine president also emphasized the country's call for rapid, safe, unimpeded, and sustained humanitarian access to those in need. President Marcos hoped that all concerned parties would work toward a peaceful resolution to the conflict with a view to realizing the two-state solution. The United Nations or UN Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian people held a special meeting on Tuesday to mark the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, which falls on Friday. The occasion serves as an opportunity for the international community to focus its attention on the fact that the question of Palestine remains unresolved and that the Palestinian people are yet to attain their inalienable rights as defined by the General Assembly, particularly the right to self-determination, the right to national independence and sovereignty, and the right to return. In 1977, the General Assembly called for the annual observance of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people every November 29. On that day in 1947, the Assembly adopted the resolution on the partition of Palestine into two states, one Arab and one Jewish.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, the Philippines Commission on Appointments or CA on Wednesday approved the ad interim appointment of Department of Trade and Industry or DTI Secretary Maria Cristina Roque. Roque was appointed in August this year. During the deliberation of her appointment, Roque said DTI has been actively promoting international trade and foreign investments to boost economic growth and create jobs. The DTI chief believes that the micro, small, and medium enterprises or MSME sector, which comprises 99.5% of businesses and 60% of the workforce, is crucial for development and should be well supported by the government. She vowed that under her leadership, the DTI will prioritize digitalization, diversification, and franchising to help MSMEs compete globally. Roque said consumer protection and fair trade will also be ensured through the department's aggressive monitoring. Before her DTI stint, Roque started her career as a small entrepreneur, which she said instilled a profound understanding of the challenges faced by the MSME sector. She also served as DTI Undersecretary for the MSME Development before being appointed by Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as Acting Trade Chief. In his manifestation of support, Senator Christopher Lawrence Go said Roque fits the position, being a seasoned public servant whose dedication and integrity has been exemplified in her extensive experience in the executive branch. Besides Roque, they add interim appointments of 22 senior officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP and 21 Foreign Service Officers of the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA, were also approved by the CA.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news stories, the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP on Wednesday shrugged off calls for its intervention against a fractured government as described by former Philippine President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. AFP Chief General Romeo Bronner Jr. made this remark at a close of the two-day AFP Leadership Summit held in Camp Aguinaldo, saying their duty is to protect the country and the people. Bronner said the military adventurism that happened in the past is no longer tolerated in present times.
But hindi po natin trabaho yun. That is not our job. So ang trabaho natin is to protect the Republic of the Philippines, protect its people, defend our territory, and defend our sovereignty and our sovereign rights. So, yung mga nakaraang mga military adventurism ay hindi na po pwedeng yun. That is why we will not take the law into our own hands. We will remain professional. Kung gusto po nilang may pagbabago, meron naman tayong proseso sa ating demokrasya. So let's allow that to happen.
Meanwhile, General Bronner dismissed reports of a pull-out of its personal task to secure Vice President Sara Duterte. Bronner said the real story is that they received a subpoena from the Philippine National Police calling the members of the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group or VPSPG for investigation. However, he did not provide more details regarding the subpoena. With this development, Bronner said it is prudent to comply with the PNP subpoena so that the investigation can proceed and be conducted quickly. Bronner also said trouble would erupt should anything bad happen to the Vice President.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police or PNP on Wednesday said it has received reports of payment and transportation being offered to some supporters of Vice President Sara Duterte for them to show up at the Epifanio de los Santos Avenue or EDSA Shrine. In a press briefing at Camp Crame, Quezon City, PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Jean Fajardo said there are some videos circulating on social media allegedly were transported from their villages in going to the place and were offered payment and food.
There are some videos na lumalabas po, if I may share again, na yung iba po doon, allegedly, again, let me reiterate, allegedly were transported from their barangays papunta po doon sa lugar. Pinangakuan daw po na babayaran po sila at pakakainin po. In fact, yung iba po sa kanila ay nagreklamo dahil allegedly ang pangako sa kanila ay bibigyan sila ng 500 for 3 days pero ang ibinigay lang ay 200 po. Nandyan po, it was documented. Di ko alam kung sino po yung nagpalabas nito. We just want to share it with you po.
Meanwhile, Fajardo also revealed that 25 police personnel have been deployed to the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group or VPSPG assigned to guard Duterte after the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP requested police personnel for Duterte's security. The 25 cops were sent to the VPSPG on Tuesday.
Ay meron po tayong pinadala additional na 24 PNCO, non-commissioned officer and 1 PCO, so total po ng 25 to complement po yung VPSPG po. I also confirm that that question po. But as on the part of the PNP po, we don't have any information with respect po sa alleged threat against the Vice President. But nonetheless, the PNP is open to collaboration and cooperation. At kung meron man po, I'm pretty sure and I'm just assuming as part of security protocols po, this should have been communicated. Any threat against the Vice President should have been communicated with the Presidential Security Command, since it is the command who is responsible for the security and safety of the Vice President. So kung meron man, ay dapat na i-communicate po ito, and the PSC, if there is a need for police assistance, then we will readily provide it po.
And you just heard Philippine National Police spokesperson Brigadier General Jean Fajardo.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, and Thailand's National Health Security Office, or NHSO, on Wednesday signed a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, to enhance financial coverage for inpatient cases. The MOU, signed by PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel Ledesma Jr., and NHSO Secretary General Jadej Thamat Atchari in Pasig City, focuses on the development of a diagnosis-related groups, or DRG, payment system as the state insurer transitions from the current all-case rate system. In an advisory, PhilHealth said this would ensure more comprehensive and impactful healthcare services. DRG is a case-based payment system that covers all diagnosis and procedure codes related to a specific episode of care. It noted additional patient characteristics such as complications and length of stay in a facility, among others. This reflects a more accurate approximation of the costs associated with hospital admissions. PhilHealth said the system would improve health insurance coverage for patients and more appropriate reimbursement for healthcare providers, which affect the quality and efficiency of healthcare delivery. The PhilHealth and NHSO of Thailand participated in the 41st Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN Social Security Association, or ASA meetings from the 25th to the 27th of November in Parañaque City. Best practices and challenges concerning social security in the region were discussed during the ASA meetings. ASA is a non-governmental organization promoting collaboration among social security institutions from Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 9.475 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.820 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.